Hello and welcome to For the Culture. It's your girl, Miss Moi.
I'm AWB.
I'm the diva.
And thank you so much for joining us for another week. How you doing, ladies?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. Happy MLK Day.
Happy MLK Day.
We are going to be talking about the man tonight himself, Martin Luther King Jr. and his impact on the culture and what's happened just based off of his dream.
What has happened based off his dream? I think that he would be sorely disappointed, just to be quite honest. I think that there are some folks who are still trying to hold on to the movement, but we have so many more, and those are making the noise. They don't care. They don't care that we had to go to the back of the bus. They don't care about the arrest. They don't, listen, y'all, jump in, because I can keep on going about this one. Come on with it.
What about the dream? Do you think it's still alive and present?
You know, I would say, Sally, no. I think, unfortunately, instead of having a dream for all of our culture, people are more self-centered.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the dream has to be revitalized.
Yeah.
We need to bring it back.
We got to bring back the dream. So tonight we're going to be talking all about him and his impact. If you're not following us on all social media platforms, here's your opportunity to do so. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and New Beat Radio. You'll be able to follow us on all these platforms and hear us nationwide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Last week was our lunch. And it was amazing. Amazing. So thank you so much for sharing and caring. We appreciate you watching. So we're going to get into the dream. My first question for you guys tonight, and I cannot wait to hear your answers, is freedom really free?
It is absolutely not.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. We think that we have freedom, but there are so many restraints. There are so many sidebars. There's so many things that keep us bound, you know. And the thing is, some of us don't even know that we're really not free.
Wow.
So what do you think it is that makes us not free? Like, give us an example.
I think the chains in our own minds. We have been taught for so long that we can only do so much, you know.
Right.
Don't even aspire to do anything, because this is your place,
And that's
you know?
your role.
And that's your role, you know. And unfortunately, I mean, even in my lifetime, and I'm soon to be 57, I've been told time and time again, I need to know my place.
Come on, Black, don't cry.
You see what I'm saying?
I cannot with y'all. I can't.
Well, you know, I'm super proud of that. I am,
Yes,
because life has been good,
Yeah.
you know, and we need to recognize that on a regular basis, I think. But is freedom free? It's not.
But not only do we hear we need to know our place from other races, other people, we hear from each other. Oh, you doing too much. No, babe, you're not doing
You're
enough.
not doing
Right.
enough. Join me. Get
Your
on this
dream
train.
ain't big enough.
Yes.
Because if it was, then you would understand why my grind is like
You would
this.
see my hustle.
You would
Right.
understand. You wouldn't look at it like a negative thing. You would look at it like, oh, this person
How do I be down? How do I get on this train?
Yeah.
You know?
What about you?
You know, honestly, I would definitely say that freedom's not free. As a military mom, you know, I look at it even when in previous years the draft was mandatory, you know, and how our sons and our fathers and uncles and brothers were sent off to war, a war that wasn't even really for and about us, you know.
My goodness.
And then I look at it today, and much like AWB was saying, you know, that especially in corporate America, you know, it's we have ceilings that we put on ourselves in addition to the ones that they place upon us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would say freedom is not free.
What do you feel about it?
I'm very torn with it.
Okay.
Because I feel like there is a ceiling that is put on us by others and by ourselves. And so it's kind of like a catch-22. Dang if you do, dang if you don't. Excuse me, this is my mom and my sister, so I got to talk a certain way tonight. But anyway, it's like, yeah, you can go and you can be successful. But if you are, you're going to be questioned.
Right.
And you're going to be looked at. The more successful that you are, you're going to lose relationships. You're going to lose even sometimes just things that you love and you possess. It's just like, it's free to a certain point.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the same time, you guys may not agree. These are solely the opinions of Miss Moi.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have it way better than black men. Because I think that they are still a target.
Sure. Absolutely.
And you can't jog, you can't ride a bike, you can't be in a car,
You can't be in your house.
You can't be in your house, you can't be walking with a T while black. And so
You can't be bird watching.
period.
Now, how innocent
So
is that?
it's like,
Yeah.
if we're still doing stuff like that, there's no way we're free. Because how is a person a threat and they're doing nothing to you that is
They're doing
threatening?
nothing at all. You cannot be a kid playing with a gun, a toy gun, in the park where kids play.
Right.
Right.
So is freedom free? And you talked about the dream earlier. You asked, you know, do you believe? Do you still is the dream? Listen, some of us are dreaming so long that we don't forgot to get up. It's time for us to wake up
Woo.
and do
Wow.
something else. The
Yeah.
dream is good, but now get up and what you gonna do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Okay, so what is an important fact or memory that you know about Martin Luther King? What is something that you were taught that you believe is important about him, specifically Martin Luther King Jr.?
I think one thing that I remember or was taught, that he and Malcolm X were starch enemies, and they
Wow.
were not.
Mm.
They were not. They had the same goal in mind. They wanted us to be better, to be free, to be a community. They were not enemies. Now, they believed in going about it a different way. You know, Malcolm X, my man, you know, any means necessary, you know. Whereas Martin, and he wasn't jelly bag, okay? They make him sound like, oh, he was, you know, love your enemies. And yeah, well, we're supposed to do that. You know,
Right.
that's the word. You know,
Right.
we're supposed to do that. But he wasn't saying, you know, let them beat you down. Let them take advantage of you. That's not what he was saying, you know. And I think we misunderstood that. The only speech that you ever hear was the I Have a Dream speech. And they play that little clip over and over. He had a lot of
He has
speeches.
so many more.
He had a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
speeches, you know. And in some of them, he sounded a little like Malcolm X. So that's one thing I remember.
I think it's very unfortunate in our society, or in general, people will try to pit figures against each other
Yes.
and create animosity that really isn't even there.
Yeah.
You know, just for the sake of causing division in our people. And I think one of the things that really stuck out to me about Martin was his educational background, especially for his time period, for him to be so educated
Yes,
at a
he was.
young age.
Mhm.
And that's not necessarily really taught in our Black History Month courses
Mhm.
in high school. At least it wasn't for me. I went to a township school.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't until I actually researched a lot of it on my own and went into college courses that I kind of found out more about him as a person.
Yeah.
You know.
I think one thing that sticks out to me historically about Martin Luther King is the fact that he was arrested like 30 times. This sticks out because he was actually spreading a positive message.
Right.
Yes.
And so to know that someone that has this much impact and is trying to bring this sense of unity can get in trouble is amazing to me.
Right.
Well, you know what? They hate us because they ain't us. And they fear what they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know how on earth we went through slavery. We went through Jim Crow. We went through all of these things, and we still came out and we have grace. They have no idea.
Right.
And so they're constantly looking at us like, okay, when they gonna snap? When they gonna snap? Oh, when they gonna do us like we did them?
I was watching a documentary recently that said during that time when, you know, all the marches and everything that was going on, how important it was for us to remain calm and for us to remain dignified because they thought we weren't it. So our goal was to show them that we had staying power, but it's probably difficult to have that if someone's trying to kill you just because.
Right.
It's so difficult to remain calm when someone is talking straight crazy to you.
Yeah.
It is. And you're dealing with the public. I have to do this every single day. So in my mind, I'm telling, I'm okay, all right, okay, relax. I'm having a whole conversation in my head, and now my thing is to just break out in laughter, and then they're looking at me like, baby, you want me to laugh?
Yeah,
I promise.
yeah.
Versus the
You know,
alternative. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Do you guys think that his work was effective?
Absolutely. I think so. I think so. I mean, I think that we have strayed for sure, okay? But I think he laid, and it wasn't just him. It was a movement.
Right.
They laid such groundwork. They laid such a foundation. So it's like when, you're raising your kids, you give them everything that you got. You give them the best foundation. They may go out in the world and lose their mind. But because they had that foundation, because the groundwork was laid, they're going to come on back in. So, yeah, I think he absolutely made a huge difference.
I think of my grandmother, and how I looked forward to hearing from my elders, just people that were in that time period more so than I was, because of when I was born, that actually were surrounded by him and his movement, and the people that were involved in this movement and what they actually felt was going on to this day. It kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, whereas there's definitely been some changes, there's definitely been some improvements, but we have so much further to go.
Yeah.
We have
It's
so
not
much
over.
further to go.
Yeah.
And I look at, even like I said, I keep going back to corporate America, unfortunately, but it's a relevant point to me because I work in corporate America a lot, and I think of how us, even as a people, react to each other in certain positions, and it's so unfortunate, that we still have the Willie Lynch syndrome. In some positions, in some places, and we still have the crabs in a barrel kind of mentality when we were already labeled animals for a long period of time.
We were labeled less than human. Isn't that
Exactly.
amazing?
Yeah.
And just to think of how, even in conversation, when people hear me over the phone versus if they see me, they react to me totally different.
Totally different.
And even in my family, and I can speak on my family, these are my opinions. But how I was labeled the white girl, instead of saying I sounded like I have an education.
Yeah.
I was told that I was white. And there truly is a difference. I can't change my skin color. Well, I could, but I would never change my skin color. I am proud of my melanin and who I am. But there's nothing wrong with being educated. And people have that misconception that if you're black and you're educated, that you're going to be ostracized from the black community, and it's so not true.
It's absolutely not true.
As far as me, I do feel like he was effective in what his cause was. His cause was to stop the segregation. His cause was to stop the separation. But what I've learned over time is, okay, I'll say it this way because I was really getting my words together. I don't know if y'all noticed. I was struggling a little bit. I think the idea of us all being together is great. But I will say, from what I have seen historically and what I've been told, we were fine as a unit. And what I mean by that is, hear me out, please. We learned to depend on each other.
Right.
We learned to take care of each other, of each other's families, and each other's children, and all of that. And so it seemed like when all of this happened, we kind of separated from the community that we have within our community. Does this make sense, what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I'm trying to be as politically
You're looking
correct.
at those words now.
Yes.
You're looking at that billboard in your head. I see
Listen,
you.
I am trying to
I
be
see
politically correct, I promise. But I feel like before we were made as one, our community, historically, in my opinion, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what I've watched, was stronger. And we were able to help each other succeed.
Right.
And so, yes, we came all together, But in coming together, what happened? We talk about the dream and we talk about his mission. Okay, but what happened once that actually became a thing?
Wow.
Well,
I did good. I'm
that-
sorry.
You watched it. You did. You watched the words. I saw you. I saw you.
Yes, yes.
I saw you.
I was like, whoo.
Well, I was raised Muslim, okay? So, talking about community, that was real life. I was an Elijah Muhammad Muslim, okay? Because there's so many different kinds now,
Right,
okay?
right.
So, I was raised. I mean, there was community. We had our grocery stores, our restaurants. We had our everything, our clothing stores, our factories, and we supported one another. We supported one. Now listen, dig it. I was a child. My parents raised us as Muslims. Okay, so I don't know anything about the political anything. So please don't do that. All I know is that the boys went to school with the boys, the girls went to school with the girls. We learned so much, and we were disciplined. We were a disciplined kid. Oh my God, we would never dare run into a store and be loud. There were some things ladies didn't do in public. There was and to me, maybe because it's my life, my world, I loved it. I mean, I think that we should be able to interact with other people. Okay, we should know how to conduct ourselves everywhere we go. But yeah, I dug it. I 100% am excited about how I was raised. And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change. Oh my God, my parents, they were hard on us. The school was hard on us. It was tough. But I think because of that, I am me. And then, like I said earlier, foundations and I got out there and I lost my ever-loving mind. But then I remembered who raised me.
Exactly.
So how is it affecting us? I think we started getting money. We could move to the suburbs. We could drive we always drove well.
Right.
I don't care what was going on. We
And
drove.
long cars.
We long cars. Yes, we
Right.
drove well. But I think we forgot us. I think we forgot us. We were so busy trying to impress, I think, other people. I've got an education now, hooty doody. You look at me.
Right.
We became that person. And then we started to look back at our families like, and that's not how you do that. You take everybody with you. I mean, some people are going to want to go and some people are not going to want to go.
Right.
Okay, but at least you attempt.
I think a lot of what you see is amazing and awesome, and I to go along with that, I think back to seeing images of us having dignity about ourselves. We were the scientists, we were the doctors, we were the lawyers, we had our own communities, we were the bankers. People dressed in suits,
Dressed well.
daily. In their Sunday's best, as we call them now.
Going to the grocery store.
Going to the grocery store,
Yeah.
but you walk with your head held high in your communities, and it didn't. What I think a lot of the misconception also became with Dr. King and his vision, and people trying to create separation, is that because you are proud of your culture, of your race, it does not mean that you hate another
That
race.
is right. That's good.
I think that people really need to understand that because you are proud of who you are and your background and your melanin. Come on, melanin.
Yes. Look at this right here.
That's melanin up here. Because you're proud
Every
of that.
shade.
Every shade. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the black woman is an awesome being. We are the only being that can create all races.
Yeah.
And we're so imitated.
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys are dropping gems. I can't. If you're just tuning in, we are celebrating MLK and his effect on our community and his dream, And so we're talking about the impact of his life, of his legacy. And so we have been talking about how he has affected our community, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. And so one thing that I do like about what we said is we agreed to the fact that there was this sense of community then. We took care of each other.
Right.
And I am not, maybe I haven't found it in the history books yet, in the documentaries yet, but all of the black on black crime wasn't there from what I saw. Not like what we experience today.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, does that mean I'm pro-segregation? I mean, I don't want to think like that.
Right.
But it's like, when I hear about Tulsa, and when I think about Harlem, and when I think about us in that day, in Chicago, in that day as a unit, it just makes me think, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty powerful, because today, I don't think we have that type of unity. I just really don't. I would love that for us. You know, people, if you know me, I'm the sister to the city. Everyone calls me sis. I think it's just kind of how I was raised. Brother so-and-so, sister such and such. And that could be because I grew up in a church. She grew up Muslim. Sister, brother was a way of greeting, you know. And so it's just, now there's a difference. If I call you sis, hey. If I call you sister, you know the difference. So let's be clear there. But I'm just saying, I think we treated each other better when we were separate.
I think we had so much respect for one another.
Yeah.
You know,
Because we knew the struggle.
we knew the struggle.
Yeah.
We were there. We were in it. So we respected one another. Men respected women. Women respected men. We were not trying to glorify anything and make it what it wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you can look back in the history books. You can look back on the documentaries and all of people. First of all, the way they carried themselves.
Yeah.
When you were in public, there was a way that you spoke. There was
Yeah,
a way that you didn't dare be loud.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like a badge of honor to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
We wore our clothes. Women were ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And today, women are just women.
Yeah.
You know, the guys even call us females.
Yeah.
Ooh, you better speak on it.
That is, and that to me, every time I hear that, my female.
I'm like, ooh. Yeah.
You know, you look back on the pictures and the women were so well
Woo.
dressed.
Yes.
And, you know, with the dainty little bag.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
the little
Yeah,
gloves.
yeah.
Oh
And
my
the
goodness,
little-
little
Yes,
birdcage
fedora
hat.
thing.
They just,
Yes.
I mean, it was almost, they had so much respect for themselves.
Yeah.
And now, you know, everybody, Lizzo, take your clothes off. Meg the Stallion, you know, you come on. I mean, and it's all right. Those are entertainers. So I guess that's what they're supposed to do. But are we supposed to imitate the entertainers?
Right.
Because they're entertainers.
In everyday life.
In everyday life,
They're doing
right.
their jobs
Yeah.
on stage. I don't know if we're supposed to wear the Bambi eyelashes every day.
You're not feeling it every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
You know, the
So
comedians
sorry.
crack me up with the tape on our.
Yeah.
We're gonna let it go.
Yeah.
For all my lash queens, you go right ahead, baby. You
Listen,
go right ahead.
Yeah.
Listen. Yes.
I was trying to say something there, but
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah. So I think, you know, bringing us together, of course, his dream and what it represented and all of that. Of course, the vision for it was great. Give us more opportunity, give us more exposure, you know, give us a bigger community in a sense. That's great. But I just think at the core of it, we kind of lost some things in our homes, you know. And so that is kind of the issue to me with the era. Something that I saw recently, too, is they were so afraid of him. They said he's almost like a black messiah, and he has to go.
They were so afraid of him.
Right.
You know, they saw the impact that he had on everybody.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, listen, he was talking about freedom and segregation and for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so there was black followers and white followers and everybody of every race wanting to come together.
Right.
You know, because it wasn't just a black thing, it was an everybody thing. The allies were deep.
Exactly.
You know, they were afraid of him.
Yeah.
Because to me, and I do this all the time, it always comes back to a financial thing to me. Somebody is gaining from the segregation. Somebody is gaining, you know, the strike. That's it.
What do you think about them calling him the Black Messiah in that time?
Well, I actually believe it. We won't get into that. But yes, he very well could have been put into that role, per se, because he could walk into a room and impact people.
Yeah.
You know, so in ways I wish I were alive to be able to witness those kind of things, those kind of moments.
Yeah.
You know, and feel the impact that he did have. But, you know, we have to, again, think of keeping this movement alive today.
Yeah.
So, you know, do we have a role that's like that in our community today?
Yeah.
I think it becomes the next question. And does it actually fall on just one person, or can we have a group of people that kind of become...
Well, my next question for you guys is similar but different.
Mm-hmm.
If you were an adult during that time, which none of us were, would you have been a part of the movement? Why or why not?
I definitely would have been part of the movement, but they probably would have killed me.
That's what I was going to say.
They probably, because I can be so, you know, people call me militant all the time. Listen, I just believe in us, and I believe that we could be better. And I would be saying a lot of things that probably would get me in jail and then killed. Yeah, I really believe that. So it was right for me not to be in that time. You know, it was right for me not to be a slave because, yeah, still would have been dead. You know, because I'm one of those people. I'm looking at you like, oh yeah, and you can't do that. You can't. Oh yeah, people, because they'll kill you. You know.
I agree with you on that, but I think mine would have been me being killed for something totally different. I think I would have been being killed for the one reaching out and being friendly. Hi, how are you today? Or how's your day going? And that could have got me killed. And that's so scary.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you think back to that time where you couldn't even make eye contact with someone.
You got to drop your eyes, drop
Exactly.
your head.
You know, and that.
Can you imagine that?
Wow.
You know how you're walking through the mall and you're walking in, and usually there's a nice flow. These people are going this way, these people, you know, it's a nice flow. But you got that one somebody who gonna run right into you or think that you're supposed to move out of their way.
On purpose.
Where you be at? Where do you shop? Because y'all all sound mad. Where do you go?
You know,
I can't. I won't.
You know what? Do you know, listen.
I can't. I just won't.
Do
The
you know-
stories you have. It's like,
I know. I know.
where is this happening?
You know what? James Baldwin said it best. To be Negro in America is to be angry every day.
Mm.
And I don't want to be that. You
No.
know? I don't.
Okay. I'm just checking in. We checking in. Okay. Because you,
Listen, I get so frustrated about the way we have to give 200%.
Mm. Wow.
and when you
When
say
Sally
that,
Joe
what do you
only have to
mean?
give everything.
Okay.
Everything.
So you feel like we have to overcompensate?
Listen, okay, here's the deal. Check this out. Was the gymnastic, Simone Biles, is that her name?
Uh-huh.
When she had the messy hair? They ran her up the flagpole.
They did.
About her messy hair. The hair to grow out her head.
Mm.
But now the soccer mom can wear a messy bun looking like a rat has played up in there, and that's stylish.
I love a messy bun. You will not. Because listen, I gotta pull it up and tuck it down and pull it around. I need that messy look. Don't you do that.
Listen,
Don't you do it.
Simone Biles was made to feel shame about her hair.
Yeah.
That she was. That she was.
You know? And we couldn't love our hair. We couldn't love our nappy naps. We couldn't love our braids. I think Bo Derek made it popular first with the braids. That was back in my day. And then we got Kim Kardashian, who, you know, made who
Again, an imitation of life.
who are you? Really? Yeah. So I get a little agitated.
We're gonna let you cool off.
Thank you.
Would you been a part of the movement, Diva? Tell us. Would you have been a part of the movement?
I would have been right there front and center. Yes,
Okay.
I would.
What about you? Would you have been a part of the movement?
Now, what I'm about to say
Lord,
Uh-huh.
let me take a sip.
might, I don't know, surprise you guys. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure where I am presently. If I would have been a part of his movement. And the reason I say that is because all I've seen. And so what I mean by all I've seen is all I've witnessed, all I've heard, all I've watched, all I've been told over time, right? So during that time, I don't know if his movement would have been the movement for me, because I am very militant also. And so
Black Panthers.
So that's what I was gonna say. So would you be more?
So I probably would have been more Pantherish,
Yeah.
Okay.
or more Malcolm X-ish. If we just being honest,
Okay.
that is more so how I feel on the inside.
Okay, so when you say a part of the movement, I'm thinking Black Panthers and Malcolm X and
No, I'm talking about MLK's
what I've been. See, I believe it was all the same.
You think it was all the same?
I just think they had different approaches.
Okay.
I think that. Well,
I'm saying, would you have gone in those diners and sat at those countertops with him and been attacked and thrown, shakes thrown on you, and they sat there and they did nothing? Would you have followed him?
Could I have done that?
Yeah.
I could not have done that.
Okay.
No, I would have been a Panther, and I'm
Okay.
definitely a Malcolm Xite.
Okay.
You know
What?
I made that up.
Yeah. Did you notice that? Did you see that? And then she
said-
went on with
she
it.
Worked on
Did
it.
you see that?
She said what?
I was just wondering if you was paying attention to that foolishness that just happened right here. And she said it so
I said it and I
confidently.
mean it, and watch people gonna be saying
They are.
Malcolm
They are.
Xite.
No one
know
said
who we
it.
Well, I bet you.
Okay.
Listen,
$1 today.
It's
We
gonna be
been like
hashtag.
this.
Wow. It's gonna be hashtag.
Listen, I have said some stuff, and people now say it,
Okay.
and I get tickled.
Malcolm
Because-
X-ite.
Malcolm
Okay.
Xite.
Whatever.
That's
So you wouldn't have been able to. I'm talking about
sitting
simply-
at the. I would not have been able to walk past someone and they spit on me, and me spit on me. Anybody seen the pastor?
Ooh,
Anybody seen that?
ooh. That is a different topic for a different day.
I apologize. It ran
I
across my.
saw
I
Right
hate
there,
it.
right there.
I
video
can't get
of
it out.
Michael
I
Todd
can't-
today
I
and how
can't
he
get it
chose
out.
to spit, and one of his members, he had to come and he did a demonstration. He was trying to do a demonstration, but it was very.
He hawked it up a couple of times.
He did and put it. And I don't know if I would.
I saw
yeah,
the video.
You did? Okay, so we're all on the same page. Coming back, can you focus? We're going to come back to you. Would you have been able to be a part of Martin Luther King's movement?
I'm so the warm and fuzzy kind of person.
Okay.
The kumbaya, let's
Okay.
all get along kind of,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I also have my limits.
Yeah.
So, eventually I probably would have came to the Malcolm side of the Martin Luther King movement,
Yeah.
and I think of, even in life, today, dealing with certain things
Yeah.
and how much is too much to take
Yeah.
to maintain your dignity, to maintain
Oh, I felt
self-respect,
all of that.
to
How much?
where do you go?
Yeah.
Where's the happy medium to not go to jail and to
You know what I feel bad for? The ones, whether it be the police or the racist people, the people that were around to see the black person that cracked.
wow.
That says, oh, okay, you got it right. Oh,
Yes.
that they
Yes.
probably was like, can you imagine? Because dealing with any type of adversity when you're trying to be professional or calm, or you're trying, people just keep pushing and they keep pushing.
What I
Woo!
notice is that the more professional you try to be, the calmer you try to be, then they get a little more riled.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we got us one.
Yeah.
Baby, but you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm praying hard on
Yeah.
the inside.
Yeah, for me and you.
Because-
Yeah.
for me and you.
Yeah.
Because if you knew me before I knew him, ooh, let's go ahead and pass the plate now.
Yes.
Next question.
We're going to come right on out of that. If you guys joined us, thank you so much. This is For the Culture. You can catch us every Monday at 7 p.m. And we're going to be talking about topics that matter to us. So the next question that I have for you guys, so we can stay on topic, Miss Ma'am,
I'm going to try so
is,
hard.
I don't know if you guys have heard this recently, so if you haven't, it may be new to you, but I'm going to ask. Do you believe the stories that have come out about him and his infidelity? And why do you think these stories are coming out?
I feel like Why? I think that anytime anybody tries to do anything good or positive or, uplifting, somebody gonna come out and say something. Here's my take on that. He was married to Coretta Scott King.
A black woman.
A black one. Beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful. Guess what? She stayed right there. Who am I to speak on his whatever? Ain't got nothing to do with me. Here's the deal. Let me do my job. Let me do what I'm supposed to. You don't live in my house. I'm not going to judge you in your house. You don't judge me in my house. That's my take on it.
Okay.
All kind of people have been accused of all kind of things, but it's only folks who look a little different are the ones who get dragged. And Jimmy Swaggart, they had Jimmy Baker. There's a couple of names you could throw out there that they've done silliness, but they don't look the same. You see what I'm saying? But they're okay though.
What about you?
There's so much to be said about that.
It's a lot to unpack.
I will limit my response to the fact of anytime there's greatness, someone's always trying to look for the opposite of their greatness to counteract. Now, in politics, per se, we've had many presidents that it was expected that they had, as we call it today, the side piece or the mistress or what have you. Even some of our stars, like your Marilyn Monroe's, were known as the mistress.
And it was out in the open
And it was
while
out in
they
the
were
open.
living.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
And their wives carried themselves and went on about their business. So why is it that, it comes out now, especially now that the man is deceased, is it to tarnish his reputation?
To tarnish his reputation.
But then you think of more relevant today kind of things, your Bill Cosby
I was thinking
incident,
that I wasn't going to say it. I was thinking it though.
versus your, what's the guy's name that just got convicted of all these crimes, yet he's dead now, Harvey Weinstein. Your Hugh Hefners versus your R. Kelly, who
And your Robert Downey Jr.'s.
exactly, what was the one that was actually spreading AIDS knowingly?
Right. Well, I can't think of his name off top, but it almost depends on,
your role and what you're doing and what you're trying to do or what you're trying to accomplish, not harping on the Cosby situation, but right around the time things were going on with him, he was going to purchase a major network.
That's right. And they said, that boy don't know his place. He need to slow his roll.
Wow.
Oh, y'all can't do it? Oh, we can. And then some of those same somebodies who came out and said this, and this, came out later and said, oh, yeah, but no, not really. And yeah, now I was paid to, oh, yeah, and really? You have ruined this man's life.
My opinion on it is basically what you guys stated, and a little more. I think anyone of greatness, there's going to be an issue, especially if you're a person of color. I've seen it happen with men. I've seen it happen with women. It's almost as if, well, we can't give them all this glory because we got to bring up this. I've seen it with Bill Cosby. I've seen it with Kobe Bryant. When he passed, now it's time to go back and talk about allegations that have been gone for I don't know how long. It just seems like the greater you are, people are looking for a story, and there are trolls everywhere. And you guys know social media trolls. They love the drama.
Yes.
They love the negativity. So any way to make a person look differently than what everyone else assumes. If you know me, in my heart of hearts, there are a few artists that I absolutely love. One at the top is in the room with us tonight, Miss Whitney Houston. I love her so much. And so what people did at her demise, at the end of her life, was they chose to harp on the negative because they could, because she's the voice, And so it's not only just others, it is us as well.
Oh, yeah.
We can be such major critics for each other, and we can be so critical just on people's lives as a whole. With Bill Cosby, I totally agree. He was about to purchase a network. He was going to continue to do great work, which he has. And so they wanted to find a reason to tarnish his name. And with Martin Luther King, I see him in that same light on a greater spectrum. This is a person that has moved in our culture, had a movement, been a part of a major movement, done great things for us. He had a dream. It was all about peace and love. And so, we got to find some kind of dirt on him. And so it's unfortunate because, to me, I just feel like, let people be. You know, people say, let them live, let them die. Let them have whatever they're known for be their thing. You don't have to always try to, tear someone down and bring out the scandal. We don't always need a scandal, do we?
It seems like we need a scandal, though. It seems like we're not happy unless there's a scandal.
That's horrible.
It's horrible. It is horrible.
It's very horrible.
Because you can't, people will not let, you can change your life, you can get out of jail, you can stop doing drugs, you can get off the corner, you can do a whole lot of things, okay? You can change your life, but there's going to be somebody who's going to tell you who you used to be or what you've done.
I remember with Barack Obama. Remember his middle name is Hussein?
Yes.
And and everyone was going crazy and saying he was a terrorist. Because that's his name. What's going on?
That's a very popular name in some cultures,
Yeah.
Just like Pascal. It's a very popular name in France, Robert is a popular name in America, So because of who you, some mothers should think, though, because Hitler's not a good one.
No, that wouldn't be a good name.
No.
Yeah, we do definitely, but, that's also part of what makes us unique. I think that's one of the things that MLK tried to bring to the forefront, too, is uniqueness. Because of the fact that he had such a turn together, cheap, peaceful kind of movement.
Yeah.
Nobody was really doing that at that time.
Yeah.
With his magnitude.
Right.
So I think that's probably why he stood out so much.
Yeah.
Did he have some things that were not going right in his life? Maybe like in his marriage or what have you? He might have.
Yeah.
But does it outweigh his movement? To me,
No.
It does not.
Because anybody who's been married knows
Marriage
you
is
have some
work.
things
Exactly.
in your marriage.
Yeah.
You got to get up and deal with yourself, and now you have committed to dealing with somebody else. To
Right.
death do us part.
There you go.
So maybe he did have this, that, and the third, but again, how is that my business?
Right.
Claretta Scott King, powerful woman in her own right, stayed right there.
And I think a lot of it too is that sometimes in our culture we'll put people on these pedestals, and when they fall off of the pedestal in our eyes, then we're going to criticize them. We're going to jump on their hate wagon or what ostracize them.
Yeah.
Even like what was it, Chrisette Michelle? It's such an honor to be able to perform for the president's inauguration.
Yes.
Granted, I was not a fan of the president she performed for.
Right.
But I would not stop listening to her music because she chose to take on that role.
Right. Absolutely.
But so many people bashed her, criticized her, stopped supporting her as an artist because she chose
And she's awesome artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I were in that position, would I have taken that particular job? That, I don't think I would.
Right.
But that's my personal opinion,
Right.
Like it was her personal opinion to take it, She has a whole career, She has a whole deal that she's responsible for. She took a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We kind of beat her up for it.
So let's talk critical race theory. What is it? What we doing with it? What's going on?
I'm so confused. Critical race theory, they don't want us to teach about slavery or the civil rights or any of that in schools. I suppose it's just supposed to be on a higher education level now. How do you not teach the babies about Sojourner Truth? W.E.B. Du Bois. How do you do that? Now, they just passed the bill Juneteenth is now a holiday. Okay? Perfect. You want to celebrate the end of slavery, but you don't want to teach what led up to it? You want to act like it didn't exist? What did that nut say that slavery didn't exist? What's his name? Kanye. Where his friends at? Where are his friends? Somebody ought to be able to stop you when you go, off the rail.
Well,
when
his mom.
Yeah, I think so. I think that we have got to teach. We've got to educate, because when you don't educate, you lose. Okay, you got to know about James Baldwin. You got to know about Nina Simone. You got to know about all these people who impact our history. To take that away, you're doing, it's a detriment. You cannot do that.
Why do you think that they're interested in doing that?
My opinion. The old folks used to say that our generations would become more ignorant as we went on in time because we aren't passing on the knowledge. And if you can hide the history, if it was violent to you, but it's something we actually went through, of course you want to hide that.
Yeah.
You want to hide the Nazi community. You want to hide slavery. You want to hide your Emmett Tills. You don't want those stories told, to be putting the truth out there, to show that at one point in this country, and still in this country, those things.
But do you guys think that possibly they're getting rid of these teachings, these stories, these understandings because they're embarrassed? And the reason that I say that is because they're taking down all these flags, they're taking down all these racist statues, they're doing so many things to say, this is no longer what we can stand for, this is no longer okay. So do you think they're removing it because they're like, you know what, we're embarrassed by this and we don't even want to,
Baby
no?
girl, no.
They
are not, look,
okay.
you say they are taking down these, they are not taking down those statues voluntarily. People are saying to them, I am not my grandfather, okay? Take it down.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
Very poignant.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
They're not saying, oh my goodness, we did so wrong.
Okay.
Okay. They are not, no, they are saying,
Okay.
they are being forced
Okay.
to take them down because they want to run with the Confederate flag. Baby, you lost. Where you going?
Yeah.
And they're saying it's part of history. No, that was not a part of history. You made that up. Now you want to force feed me.
Yeah.
So no.
Why do you think they want to remove these teachings? Diva, what's up?
Honestly, I'll say ignorance is bliss. That's why I say they want to remove these kind of teachings. Because generations from now, where are they going to be able to go back and find Sojourner Truth or your Malcolm X or your Martin Luther King? Where are they going to find the true, accurate stories of what these people did for our culture and how they led our people? If you can eliminate,
Erase it, yeah.
hide, the fact that these people were great. Some of our greatest inventors were actually African American.
Yeah.
I use the term African American loosely, but that black people invented so many things and did all these things. You could almost rewrite history if you wanted to.
You could. You absolutely could.
And I think a lot of that is going to happen. I think we're going to have books burned. Even, and I'll go there, even with the Bible. There are books coming up missing from the Bible these days. If you use your app, you're not going to have all the books that are in the physical form of the Bible.
But isn't it amazing how you mentioned the Bible? Isn't it amazing how they took the Bible and used that in slavery times to make us Christian?
Ooh.
And but here's the deal: they only use certain little passages. Okay, they talk. Y'all silly. But I mean, it's just amazing
because
to
people
me.
don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
They don't like to. They don't like to say where it came from in our culture.
Right.
This was not what we knew to be true. This was forced on us and what they made us to believe. And so when you look at it different, you're going to look at some things different. And you're not going to just continue to judge other races and other faiths, and because you'll realize it's bigger than just you or your thoughts or what you were taught, So
I was reading.
Ooh, is there what is that thing called, a gavel? Shoot, dang.
Drop me.
Listen. I was reading a book called The Making of a Negro Christian. If you've not read a good book lately, grab that one. The Making of a Negro Christian. It is so mind-blowing. And in this book, and I've got, the one I have has like some original, the writings, the notes, how to make this person believe this and how to, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. But I've always said, because I was raised a Muslim, I studied Jehovah's Witness, then I was Kojic, then I was non-denial. I've been a lot of things. I believe in, and what I know in all of that, I believe in God. That's what I know in all of that.
There you go.
But how arrogant can we be to think I'm the only one? I'm the only one. We got to be, first of all, in the Bible, it tells you, judge not lest you be judged. Okay? When you are pointing at someone and when you are putting someone down and when you baby, you judging.
I think we need a whole collection plate at this point. Because listen, we are dropping gems and preaching tonight. I have a question, guys. How do we move the dream forward? How do we keep the dream alive and keep his mission going? What do we do?
I think we got to keep on talking. Okay? We got to, and unfortunately, the talk that we're talking is not interesting to everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, what would be interesting if I pick this mug up and threw it in your face?
Right.
If I stood over here twerking.
Right.
To the side. Real fast.
Then more people will listen to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to give you a show. Yeah.
More people will listen. More people will tune in. More people will love and like and share.
Yeah.
Right.
But what we got to do is we got to stay steadfast and unmovable. We got to keep on talking about the dream. We got to keep on pulling the young man to the side and saying, baby, pull your pants up. We got to keep doing it, And sometimes, let me tell you something, sometimes that's going to get hard because people are hard, okay? And they're going to tell you about you, okay? But you got to, when something is dropped in your spirit, you've got to work with it. And you got to move with it. That's why I'm so excited about us and for the culture and us sitting at this table and having these conversations. Because we could be talking about a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
You
How
know?
do we keep the dream alive, Diva?
I think it goes along with what I call Sis was saying here. Whereas we have to actually be involved as a culture with our kids, their kids, the neighbors' kids. We have to become the village again. We can't be afraid to say something to someone, if they have their pants hanging down. We can't be afraid to correct a young lady that's in the store calling her friend B or a four-letter dog, four-legged dog or whatever term you want to use for that.
Well, then they break it up in all syllables. There's like 4 different syllables.
Right. Your abundance comes into play. I'm just saying. But I think we've got to get back to a level of respect for ourselves and a level of respect for our people, our elders. We throw our elders away, and it's so unfortunate to me. Those are the kind of things that are going to keep the dream alive.
I think we got to do a couple things to keep the dream alive. Number one, continue to succeed. Continue to dream. Continue to want more. It's okay to want more. It's okay to be more. It's okay to push yourself further. But also, one thing I read recently, the first 5 people that are around you represent you. And when I read that, I was like, ooh, I got to do some shifting and some moving around me. Because I want movers and shakers around me. I want talented people, people that love people, people that care about me genuinely. Okay. I want myself represented in the people around me, and I want to represent them well. the dream can still live, but we got some work to do. And we're going to do that together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love this show so much. I love that we can just come together and talk about our culture and things that matter to us and what we need to do to move forward. Martin Luther King Jr., we thank you so much for your calling.
Absolutely.
We thank you so much for your calls. We thank you so much for having the spirit that you did to help us all. If you have been watching us tonight, you have been watching For the Culture. You can catch us every Monday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and on New Beat Radio. We will definitely see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, share this.